And we are back between two Yachts. I have to apologise to Marcela because we just did a 15-20 minute interview and it was wonderful. We talked about all sorts of things and the camera wasn't recording.
It happens. I'll just try to repeat myself and pretend to be spontaneous.
Yeah. We may have to recut this with... I'm sorry. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we are back at Met 2017, Season 4, filming in 4K. And we are here with Marcela Royer.
Yes.
Yes. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm
Again,
really
sorry.
happy sitting in this Yachts in the middle of the mess. This is really cool.
All right, okay. We'll cut this in. Would you like a drink?
Oh, you have a drink down there?
They're not very
Oh, wow.
they're not cold.
Right, so I have an undergraduate degree in finance. So I graduated in 2008 and I started working in the finance industry, but obviously it was the middle of the crisis, so it was not the right timing. It was actually the worst time to be working in finance. So yeah, I was in Monaco. Monaco only has two industries, so either private banking or yachting.
Now, hold on. Back up. So you're from Guatemala.
I'm from Guatemala.
And you studied finance in Monaco.
Yes.
How did you make that jump?
Oh my God, that's a long story. I can tell you over dinner.
That's for another time. Anyway, she made
it's a very
that
funny story, but it's very long.
She made that imaginative jump from Guatemala to Monaco.
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah. As you do.
And once upon a time, we were fierce competitors.
Yes.
So we both worked for competing companies.
Yeah, we were
Marcela
rivals.
was clearly better at...
Thanks for accepting this now.
We probably had a better product, but she was better at... maybe.
We were really rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so that was your way into the industry, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there was this underwater lights company looking for somebody that speaks Italian and French.
And you speak 6 languages?
Yes.
Okay.
And English.
Which are English, German?
English, German, French, Italian, Portuguese and Spanish.
Each one fluently?
Not German. German I'm still learning. I get to practice it with my family-in-law.
Yeah, your husband's German.
Yeah, but he doesn't speak to me in German. He speaks to me in English. He has no patience.
He's German.
Yeah, he's German. But I do speak it with the mom and the grandmothers, and yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is his family in Monaco as well then,
No,
or are they?
They're in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then I started in the industry just by chance. It's not like I said I'm going to be at the yachting industry and I'm going to, be selling yachts one day. It was all just by chance. It just got, it just happened, to be honest. And it was a great way to the industry because, as you know, you get to know all the shipyards, you get to know all the captains, you get to know the project managers, how the industry works. You get, I got a lot of contacts through it. And then I got really thick skin because I literally had to drive all over Europe to all the shipyards, as you know.
So this brings up the female aspect of...
Yeah, so it was difficult. It was pure sales. You're practically knocking on doors, trying to sell something that is very expensive and unnecessary, like underwater lights, and you're opening a hole in the hole, so try selling that.
Try selling that as a girl.
So it's not easy.
So we were saying that, there's very few women and very few, let's say minorities in this industry.
Yeah.
It's middle-aged white European men.
Yeah.
And Americans.
Yeah.
White men.
Yeah.
So for you, you have found it challenging at times.
Extremely challenging. It was not easy being a woman in a male-dominated industry, selling something very technical.
You see, I would have thought that being a woman in a very male-dominated industry is actually a massive positive because you get to stand out.
It's easier to get a meeting, but once you're in the meeting, it's hard for them to take you seriously sometimes. So because you're a woman, and they always try to. You have to really know what you're talking about to go around you.
Okay.
You need to know, you need to prove yourself, you need to make them trust you, you need to know what you're doing, what you're saying. And then sometimes I do act very manly, just for them to take me seriously, So
when you say manly, is that just...
It's just no high heels, yeah.
No high heels.
No high heels, I put my hair up, no makeup, and I talk very rough, and, I do dirty jokes so that they see me as one of their guys.
That's a shame, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you have to do that.
Yeah.
So you're now working, so she's got 2 degrees.
Yes.
2. The last one you got recently in Boston?
Yes, so I did my MBA in Boston. It was an international program, so I studied in Boston, Dubai, and London. It was a great experience, and right after that, I started working for Icon Yachts.
How much did that cost?
I cannot see that on camera.
It's American university.
Yeah, a lot.
6 figures?
Yeah.
For 1 year. Right.
But it's worth it.
But that was so now.
Yeah. So
you
now
are
I'm working for a shipyard.
one of the best here in
yes,
Holland.
Exactly.
Do you live?
I live in Monaco, but I fly all the time to Holland. Very often.
And what airline are you using?
All of them, because it depends on the schedule. So
you're not clocking up points with anybody. You're just
no. Everybody thinks that. They're all like, oh, you travel so much. You must have so many miles and so many status levels. But I always use different airlines and I never use the same routes. So, I mean, if you're always flying somewhere, then it makes sense. But like if I'm flying to Dubai, I'm with Emirates. If I'm flying to America, it depends. I do try to fly KLM, but like sometimes the KLM flight Nice, Amsterdam is 500 euros and then you go with Transavia or EasyJet for 50. So it's a no-brainer.
So how do you split your time? Is it like 2 days, 3 days, or is
It
it?
depends. I work myself around meetings. So whenever I bring clients, brokers, or captains to the shipyard, I just...
And your job is what? Selling the boat?
So I'm business development, so I'm a little bit everything from strategy to marketing, PR, communication, sales.
And is it just you in that department?
Yeah.
So it's just you?
Yeah.
How many boats have you got in build?
We have an 84 meter, we have a 46 meter, we have a conversion 68 meter, and we have like 5 refits. So.
That's right, you're doing refits now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because Icon started by one of my favourite people in the world,
Yeah.
Korsveld.
Yeah.
And it started with the whole concept that everything was computer modelled
Very
before
innovative, yeah.
you made the boats.
Yeah, so we
Are
are
you still
very
doing that?
innovative. Yeah, we have a very innovative approach. We're very flexible compared to other Dutch shipyards, and but we have still the Dutch pedigree. So it's a little bit best of both worlds.
And so how do you implement that now with refits then? Is that, I mean, what, you've got 8 boats?
Yeah,
The yard must have got,
We're
last
doing
time I
good.
was there, it was only like two boats. Icon 1 and Icon 2, that was the last time.
yeah. Well, we're a brand new shipyard, so it's hard to compare us with all the big ones out there.
Yeah.
But I think for the fact that we're brand new and we started in the middle of the crisis because it started in 2007, 8. So it was like, It was not easy. And the fact that we started in the rough path and now we are where we are, I think we're very proud. Yeah.
Oh, well done. So have you
Yeah.
sold any boats yet?
Not directly, but indirectly.
And how much is a boat roughly? 30
It
million?
depends. Yeah, starting from 30. Yeah. But we try to focus on the 60 meter segment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, here's a question. So when you're targeting somebody who can afford a $30 million boat,
Yeah.
you don't just, I mean, you can just happen upon them at a party or something like that, but how do you, I know you don't want to give away too many things, when you target that person,
Yeah.
are you targeting that person, or are you targeting a group, or are you targeting a community, or are you...
No, it works through influencers. So either you meet the client directly or you meet an influencer. The influencer can be his lawyer, his broker, his friend.
So you wait for so when they approach you...
Yeah. Well, with sales, I cannot come and try to sell you something because nobody likes a salesman. Nobody likes a sales talk.
Now, I'm actually starting to disagree with this.
Okay.
Because, Amazon,
Yeah.
Amazon in America is huge, and it's starting to take over the rest of the world, and internet shopping is now taking up 20-30% of retail. You're not sold anything anymore.
Yeah.
I buy something because I need it,
Yes.
or because I want it, or something like
Yeah.
that. The actual craft of being sold something, so
Yeah.
I forget where I was. I don't know, I forget where I was, but I was in this shop, and I just let the salesman sell me. It was a hat, a Panama hat. Didn't want a Panama hat. Certainly wasn't going to pay $250 for one.
Yeah.
An hour later, they were my best friends. I bought a Panama hat for $250, and I knew how they made it. I understood the history of it.
But how did you get there? How did you go to the shop?
It was on the Lincoln Road in Miami Beach.
Yeah.
And
But
so
how did you get into the shop?
I just walked in.
So So you
because I was
walked in.
interested.
So you're interested.
I was interested.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. But I
that's the
enjoyed
key.
being sold.
Yeah, but that's the key. So you're not. I'm not gonna go and tell you should buy a yacht, but you're gonna tell someone that you like yachts, and that's your foot in the door. So you went into the shop because you were interested. So my clients,
Okay. All right.
my clients have to tell someone I want a bigger yacht because I'm bored of mine, or I'm having kids, I want a bigger yacht, or I want to buy a new yacht. So that's your foot in the door. He already has an interest for it, and then people can be like, oh, you need to speak to my friend Marcela.
Okay.
So it's all through referrals, it's all through word of mouth, it's all through, I don't go and tell them, oh, buy a yacht from me, I just tell them what I do and how I differentiate, and then we're custom and we build anything that you want, and we are very flexible. So yeah, so then it's not like they were not selling it to you proactively, they were just telling you how they do it.
Yeah. So this takes us back to, of course, we've already discussed this today, but our sales off
Yeah,
that we did.
yeah,
I don't think we remember, but we were
yeah,
drunk.
yeah,
I tried to sell my light, and then you
Yeah.
tried to sell your light,
Yeah.
and I lost completely because I went down a hugely technical sales pitch of this and this, and you managed to sell effortlessly
yeah,
without knowing too much about getting bogged down by the technical stuff,
Yeah.
but by having the art
Yeah.
of communication,
yeah.
which you're one of the best you're one of the best people I've ever met who at this, and it's interesting now you're selling boats. So what else would you like to sell? Would you like to sell helicopters, planes,
No.
or would you like to start going down? Yeah.
No. I love the art of selling. It's about people. It's all about people liking you, trusting you. It's about persuasion, and I'm not very technical, but in the end I know what it does, but I am not able to go and break it down into technical details. But anyways, in sales you should never talk in technical terms because you bore people.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You're not the expert.
I'm not the
talk.
expert, and I tell them, look, like if they ask me something very technical, I'm like, I know what it does, but if you ask me how is it installed or something, I prefer to refer you to my naval architect or to my technical team that know better, and then they can answer all the questions. But in sales, like I find like the people that are too technical are not good in sales. So.
Agreed.
You need to know your stuff. You need to know your product. I cannot say you can sell bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's all about people. It's all about
people. Yeah.
And cultural sensitivity.
And yes. So sorry. Yes. Just regurgitate that again.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry that we have to do this.
Start again.
It better be recording this time.
No, so I was saying that the way you do business with a nation is so different the way you do business with a Russian person. And I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world and meet with all these people. And
you got stuck in Russia, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to jail in Russia. Not for the bad reasons, though.
That's one of the stories.
Oh, that's another story. Okay, that's a story.
Yeah, that's okay. Right, Marcela's going to tell you her story of how she was imprisoned.
No, so I went to the boat show in Russia. I don't even know why we went to the boat show in Russia. There was a boat
Russians
show.
have got money.
Yeah, and there was some shipyards, and then it was booming, and it was one of the best boat shows. And then I was there for work, and then I had friends there. I had good connections. I mean, I had the craziest parties you can ever imagine. They picked me up in a Rolls Royce. They took me to the dachas. It was like Abramovich was there. It was just insane. The chef comes out, and then my friend is like, so Marcela, what do you want to eat? And you can ask him for anything you want. And I was joking, and I said, I want Guatemalan food. And the chef freaking made me frijoles. I'm not kidding. I was like, wow. Like, it
in
was
Russia?
Crazy, yeah, in Russia. So yeah, it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. It was a
So
great
you were
experience.
partying like a Russian.
I was partying like a...
There's a Robbie Williams song.
Yes.
Do you know that song?
Yes.
Party like
Yes.
I'm going to play that over this.
Nastrovia, a lot of vodka, a lot of parties. It was fantastic. It was really, really great. And then they told me, oh, like we're a little bit outside of Russia, so you can sleep here. And I'm like, no way. All the guests, you can sleep here. You can sleep over. And I was like, no. But anyways, all the guests, we had our own room, and they had clothes for us. Like there was like an assistant and asked me for my size, and they brought me a
How
pajamas,
many people are at this party?
like a toiletry, I don't know, not many, and they had like a toiletry bag and like everything ready for you to sleep over, and then they drove me back to Moscow the day after, where I had to take my flight, but it was the day that there was the volcano explosion.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, the
From Iceland.
Yep.
So there was ash in the sky, so planes were not able to fly. So then I was not able to take my return flight. So then my visa expired.
Right. Okay.
So I was not able
And
to
what
fly.
they give you when you go to Russia? You get what?
You get a visa for the time you're going to be there.
Oh, so you show your departing flight, and
Yeah.
that's your visa.
That's your visa. Anyways, but I was queuing and I was waiting to find a solution. Sorry. And
That's why pink on the camera. Hold on, let me just recenter it. But we're still recording, which is great.
Good.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I was queuing and a gypsy stole my passport.
A gypsy stole your passport.
Yeah, in front of me. I thought he was joking. And I didn't understand what was going on. It always
So what, you
happened
had it in your
I had it in
hand?
my hand. And he just came and like started walking fast. And I just didn't understand what was going on. I thought maybe somebody was playing a prank on me. It happened so randomly. And then I realized he was actually running, and then I tried running after him, but it didn't work. So then after a while, I went to the police and I said, look, they stole my passport. Nobody spoke Russian. And then after like 2 hours, I'm like, somebody stole my passport. Can you please help me? Can you please help me? Like, I need to fly back. I need to fly back. And then me being a Latina, maybe I was a bit too loud, and then they put me in jail.
For how long?
8 hours.
They take your laces out and...
Yeah, they put me in bars and everything. I was crying. It was terrible. It was actually a horrible experience.
It's what then?
Then I
Is your nationality's what?
Guatemalan.
How the hell do you travel on a
And
Guatemalan
there was no
passport?
embassy in Moscow, Guatemalan embassy, or at least was not open. I had like my translator outside. My friends had all of their bodyguards outside.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they couldn't take me out. They were bribing the police because that's apparently what you do in Russia. And it was not working, and it was terrible. But then I was very, very, very lucky because 8 hours later, they caught the gypsy guy stealing something else, and he had my passport in his pocket. I was very, very lucky. Otherwise, I would have been sold. I would have a Russian ID by now, and I would have been sold as a traffic woman in Russia, I think. No, it was terrible. It was really horrible. And I got my passport back, and then I got the next day, I got like my flight, and it was just terrible. So I hate flying. I hate airports.
Yeah, because we discussed our hatred of travel.
Yeah.
The places aren't
overrated.
too bad. It's the
In
you have to
transit,
go through.
airports and taxis and shitty hotels and being alone all the time, right?
Yeah. Netflix is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Marcela.
Thank you.
I apologise again for making you do this
Cheers.
twice.
No worries.
And if people, oh, sorry, we just want to talk about a blog. She's
Yes.
starting. So, no, you explain it.
So I'm doing, trying to inspire people to go out there, go to the world, go explore the world.
Specifically women.
Specifically women.
Women, you can do this.
Inspire young women to tell them that you can be a strong global businesswoman if you want to. I mean, I started from nothing, and then I give a lot of business advice, a lot about women in the business, you know, how to get respected. And then there's a lot of travel bloggers, but there's not too much blog or information about business travel. So since I travel a lot for work, I do a lot of business travel blogging. So you can follow me on Instagram, Marcela Royer, and Facebook page is On Board with Marcela, and YouTube page is On Board with Marcela.
Yeah, and we'll put the things
Yes.
somewhere
So
there.
I'll be uploading all of my content there. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Marcela.
Thank you.